software. So welcome back to round 2 of the Gatecrash Prerelease here at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. 28 people battling out today for Pride and PAX. We have a 5-round Swiss tournament. There is no cut to top 8 like I was saying earlier. The way that we run the events here, or the way that the shop runs the events here, is there are packs awarded at the end of the event based on your record, and every time you win a match, you win a pack. So it encourages people to stay the whole time and play, and it does help the casual players benefit and feel like they had a good time here, and that's what we're all about. So let's talk about the matchup here. On the left is Logan Cutlip. He of many a green-white feature match in Friday night standard events. Today he opened a Boros pool, and he said Boros, but then he said something about Dimir. I don't really know I don't know what he's talking about. We'll figure out what he has exactly. He's playing Brandon Hart. Brandon opened a Orzhov pool and is playing Rakdos. So it was not like we talked about before. Sometimes you have to play whatever you build. So we're starting off with a game of rock, paper, scissors, which is how we start all of our feature matches. If you want information on how to win your own playset, make sure you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. We give them away every week as part of our F&M stream. So make sure you like our various forms of social media. There are conveniently buttons on the page you're watching right now to do all of that. You can like on Facebook, follow on Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube, all at the bottom, as well as chip in financially via PayPal if you feel so inclined. And then obviously the Twitch follow button above and to the left of the video window. So round 2 action. Both of these players are 0-1. So both of these guys got knocked off in the first round. Here's a scenario as it's coming up today. We have a fair number of casual players here that don't normally play at our F&M events, and some of them are showing a fair amount of trepidation when it comes to playing on camera. They are reluctant to do so. So we are going to have a tough time finding feature matches, so we might end up seeing some repeat players. And again, I am here by myself, so I will do my best to figure out all these cards, but if I don't get there, I apologize. So there is the 1-drop or the 2-drop out of the Boros deck, which I will look up. Not sure exactly what that is. We do see a Sky Knight Legionnaire. I know what that card does. And he pounds in for 4 there, dropping Brandon all the way to 16. That is the True Fire Paladin, which is 2/2 Vigilant. I don't think he realized it's Vigilant. I'll remind him about that. He can pump it with red and white to get +2/+0 to the turn, or use the same activation to give it first strike. Madcap skills on the Vigilant guy, making him a 3, or making him a 5/2, and the 2/2 flying hasted Sky Knight Legionnaire. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Dropping him down to 7. This game is going to be over relatively quickly, I guess. We've had 2 Boros decks in the first 2 rounds, and both of them have played out pretty much exactly like this, which is just to pound in very aggressively. And Brandon fights back with a 4-drop Angel, and that's more than enough. So that one was over very quickly, but that's exactly what can happen. Out of the Boros deck, it is very aggressive. It has very aggressive draws. So if you stumble whatsoever, you're in a world of hurt. I'm trying to figure out what that card was that Brandon played. I'm not sure if it was Assault Griffin. I think it might have been Assault Griffin. And it was Assault Griffin. So Logan Cutlip in his Boros deck moves to up a game in this round 2 match. Boros is doing pretty well today. Capable of some very, very aggressive draws. I apologize again that I'm in here by myself and stumbling over these cards. It is very difficult to memorize 300-some cards the day or the week after they were all been spoiled. And unfortunately, some of the guys that said they would be able to help me out with commentary today have apparently chosen not to do so. So I am in here. Uh, trying to... Yeah, some comments in the chat about how good Madcap Skills is. Madcap Skills is deceptively good. We talked about it in between rounds 1 and 2 with Yen and Alec. Even if you just get in for 3 damage and then they kill the creature afterwards, I mean, Lightning Bolt is still fun in a deck like Boros where you are just being aggressive as possible. I did talk to Brandon a little bit. Like I said, he did open an Orzhov pool and end up building a Rakdos deck, but that is unfortunately what happens with this guild thematic. You know, you get the one special guild booster that should help you steer in that direction, but you are somewhat limited by what you open in your other 5 packs. So if you open a critical mass of your guild's cards, then it's great, and if you don't, then you're kind of grasping at straws a little bit. So we fire off into game 2 here. Brandon leads with Orzhov Guild Gate. And we see, I guess he's not playing Rakdos, I guess he's playing Orzhov Splash Red. Call it Borzhov. So we see the 1/4 Defender with Extort and the Sunhome card, the 2/2 that he can pump or give first strike. And then Logan follows up with, oh, I see what he's done. He's switched into a Dimir deck. He's playing 2 decks, apparently. So he's got 2 of the 2-drop bats. They are 1/2 with Extort. But unfortunately, he does not have the black open to pay for the Extort on the first one. So this is a much different... I'm not sure exactly why he switched, if not for just having some fun. We see 4-drop Come Down, which I believe is the card that when another white creature comes into play, you can tap a creature. And then he serves in with his 2 Vigilant guys, knocking... or he serves in with his Vigilant guy and pumps it once, knocking Logan down to 15. So Brandon has a much better board presence this game. Last game stumbling pretty hard. Logan switching from his Boros deck to his Dimir deck, I think purely for shock value. His Boros deck played really well the first game, so I'm not sure about the strategic value of this, but it is fun. I again apologize for the glare. For whatever reason this week, the glare is specifically right in the middle of the left-hand player's board, conveniently where Logan is lining up all of his permanents. So I wish I could fix that. Don't. Trust me, I've been all over this place trying to figure out which light is causing the problem, and it is very difficult. So I'm not sure what that black card was. He sacked one of his dudes to mill, I think. I'm not sure about all this. Seems to me like he should just be plowing through his Boros creatures and doing very good. Firemane Avenger. White creature coming in, so he's going to tap down the blocker using the ability of the creature at the top, whose name I forget. And by the time I look it up, this game will be over. Serving in with the Vigilant Sunhome guy and the tapper, dropping Logan down to 11. Much better start from this game from Brandon's deck than the previous game. The Firemane Avenger is going to get out of control. With Battalion, he can Lightning Helix something, either his opponent or one of the blockers. And since Battalion goes onto the stack as you attack, he can blast a blocker out of the way before blockers are declared. So very strong, rare, almost standard playable in an aggressive Boros deck. I'm not sure if it's better than Hellrider. We've talked about it multiple times before, but very solid card and limited either way. So Logan up against it here. He's going to play Dimir Charm. He's going to choose to look at Brandon's top 3 cards. This will not help him in any way in regards to the way the game is playing out. But I guess you do what you got to do. I think I would target myself in this case, if only to try and dig for some answers. But he's going to sack his bat and make Brandon mill. Mill until he hits a land. So this has been a pretty good mill. It's like 8 cards, 9 cards. Pretty good mill. Of course, I think Logan is dead on board here. He's going to take... he's going to blow up the blocker and take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Brandon can pump him twice to 8, 9. So, can't quite kill him on this turn, but probably going to kill him next turn. At which point we'll move to game 3. Logan will be on the play, and we'll probably switch back to his much better Boros deck. And Logan deciding that's more than enough. Yeah, that was a very good start. It could not be 2 more different games between Brandon's deck. He went... he did virtually nothing in game 1, and then came out with a very aggressive Boros-style start in the second game. So we moved to game 3 of this round 2 matchup between the Borzhov deck of Brandon Hart and Logan Cutlip, playing 2 separate decks. Switching back now to the Boros deck, which is clearly better. And being on the play, it's obviously in a much better spot too. So we've talked about it multiple times before, that Boros and Orzhov have been doing remarkably well across the 2 pre-releases we've had at this store. Regionally, pre-releases that other players have played at other stores. Looks like Boros and Orzhov also doing well there. Having talked with our on our Facebook page, excuse me, and also in the chat, look like there's also a significant Dimir contingent. But those 3 guilds far and away leading the way. Of course, I chose Gruul yesterday and had opened a hot mess, and so that could be a telling sign of my skill at this game, which I've never once claimed to be good at. But in any sealed event, you are at the mercy of the packs you open. These guys have crafted together a couple aggressive Boros decks, so let's see how their draws look in game 2. So I'm trying to see what Brandon's drawing, and not having very good luck at doing so. Logan's keeping his 7 on the play, and Brandon shipping it back. And I forgot to start the clock because I'm a hot mess. So let's assume there's 35 minutes left in the round. Seems fine for me. My clock, of course, always for entertainment purposes only. The real clock kept by the tournament organizer up at the front. So let's see how this 6-card hand looks for Brandon, as he slowly and methodically peels them all off. Going down to 5, not real happy about it, I'm sure. But mulliganing, obviously a crucial part of every game of Magic. Incredibly crucial and limited. As a hand with lands and creatures, lands and spells might look good on the surface, but if it's too slow or it's not the right mix of cards, you can shoot yourself in the foot before you ever play a single turn. So Brandon's shipping it back for 5. He is on the draw, so at least he will have that advantage of digging out of his mulligan. And he does have fun Star City Dragon Sleeves, so those are fun. No land in that one either. So it's very unfortunate when you see anyone have to mull into oblivion like this. Very frustrating. I had to mull myself yesterday a considerable amount. And while I do not blame that as the reason I did poorly, it is very disappointing. Oh no. Looked like Brandon's going down to 3 cards. I'm not sure how many lands he's running, but this is pretty brutal. I see a land in there. So no one wants to win a game or lose a game like this. So we'll see if Brandon can dig out of this. And to add insult to injury, not only is Brandon on a 3-card draw with 1 land, but Logan is nut drawing him here with a 1-2 and then hasted a 3-drop. So this game is basically over. Unfortunate to see any game end like this, but I guess that is part of it. We're also talking about in the chat, I guess the stream is getting choppy for whatever reason. I have no idea what to tell you. I cannot, I have no idea what's up. Because this is second time in 3 days that I have perfectly fine signal, and I'm trying my best to fix what I can, but I don't see anything on my end that I can do differently. Nor does Brandon see anything he could have done differently in that game. When you don't draw any lands, it is not a hard mulligan decision. No one wants to win or lose like that, and so that's very unfortunate, but we appreciate these guys playing on camera for us, regardless of the outcome. So congratulations to Logan as he picks up this game and moves to 1-1 on the day. And best of luck to these two gentlemen as they continue on in the tournament. There's 3 more rounds to go. And remember, every time someone wins, they do win a pack. That's part of the prize structure here at Lost Legion Games. And right before I step outside and try to find you yet another feature match, I do want to take this opportunity to remind everyone that we appreciate the fine folks here at Lost Legion Games for letting us broadcast their events. We normally do the Friday Night Magic tournament, but this week, given the opportunity to broadcast a pre-release, we've taken that and run with it. So I apologize again for the choppiness of the stream, but we do appreciate these guys letting us do this. Use their store, use their broom closet, use their bandwidth to do this broadcast. I'm going to take a brief break. I'm going to step outside, see if I can find you another feature match, so stick with us, and we'll be right back, hopefully, with another game of Gatecrash Sealed. Okay, so we are back. I've had the guys from Table 1 swap over, and so we'll see the Game 3 of this match. Both these players have won. They've split the first 2 games, I should say, and we are off to Game 3. This is Alec Myers, who we talked to at the end of Round 1. He's playing Orzhov. Pretty strong Orzhov deck. He's got Obsidat, and he's got a ton of removal. He's even got a Godless Shrine. And he's playing against Jordan Pectyo, who is playing Dimir Mill. You'll remember we watched him build his pool at the beginning of the event, and he ended up opening a Mind Grind and 5 separate copies of Paranoid Delusion. So he is all in on the mill plan. It's pretty brutal. We saw him at the tail end of Round 1 knock off Garrett Meadows with via mill. I think in turn 4, Garrett already had half of his library in his graveyard. So it does run hot and cold. It is not necessarily an archetype that I would recommend building around or trying to draft, but it is like Tome Scour or Mind Sculpt. If you end up with a pool that has 5 or 6 of them, they're much better than the 1 or 2 random oddball cards you would end up with. So it should be interesting here. Alec has got some bombs. Jordan has a very linear strategy. Alec's deck not necessarily the most aggressive, but these extort decks can get out of control pretty quickly. So we'll just see how it goes. Again, I don't know what's going on with the stream. I guess there's some issues with choppiness. I apologize. I have every non-critical process on my computer shut off. We have a solid hardwired connection that is doing fairly well. I think at this point it might just be an issue of the ISP because there's no other settings that we can change here. So we see the 1-drop from Alec. I'm not sure what that guy is, and the Sprite from Jordan, which he can pump to be a 2/1. These Orzhov cards are the ones I'm least familiar with, so I apologize for that. But we see a Basilicus creature, which is the flying 1/2 extort, and it's the white card that I'm unfamiliar with, so I apologize for that. But I'll figure it out here soon enough. Oh, that's a Dutiful Troll. So that's the 1-drop 1/1 with Regenerate for black, so he can sit back on that on defense if necessary. Remember, these Orzhov decks don't necessarily need to attack to be able to win these games. They are very aggressive. So we see this card from Jordan, which he's played multiple times before. I believe it's the card that when another blue creature comes into play, his opponent has to mill a couple cards into his graveyard, and then Alec following up with the black creature that when a black creature comes into play, he can give Intimidate to one of his creatures. So Sage's Road Denizen is the 3-drop that Jordan played. It's a 2/3, and it does, in fact, put the top 2 cards of his opponent's graveyard, or opponent's library, when another blue creature comes into play. So Jordan lining up an attack here, or rather I should say lining up some kind of spell, as Alec has in fact gotten in one extort trigger. So I don't know. I can hear them talking out there. They're debating. Jordan's debating something strategic here, but I'm not sure exactly what he wants to do. All right, he's going to send with the 2/3. Alec not going to block it. And then Jordan follows us up with his own copy of the Black Intimidate card. So Alec, I should say, not Alex, but Alec tapping down. He's playing the Anthem effect that gives all his creatures +2/+2 until end of turn. It is sorcery speed. He's piling in with all his guys. He's going to trigger Extort. It's going to drop Jordan to 18. And then Jordan deciding how he wants to handle blocks here. 18 minutes remaining in the round as we get confirmation from JB, the store manager. So Jordan lines up some blocks, chumps out, and then drops down to 15. You look up what that lady is, the black card that they've both played that I cannot for the life of me. Shadow Alley Denizen, a 1/1 for 1 that does grant Intimidate if you play the right color creature, which is in fact black. Most important fact about this game, Jordan's stuck on 3 lands. He does not have a deck that necessarily can thrive on a mana light draw. So he does come up with the black defender, which he can sack a creature to give death touch. I'm not sure what that's called, but that's what it does. Corpse Blockade, a 1/4 defender. And there, of course, is Obzedat, the best card in the set as far as I'm concerned. And if it's good enough for standard play, it's probably good enough for limited. 5/5 beater that phases every turn, and when it comes into play, it drains your opponent of 2 life. So now Alec's at this interesting situation, excuse me, where he could theoretically never attack again and probably still win this game. So there we see the 3-cost mill card, which is Paranoid Delusions. He's going to cipher that on his 2/3. Jordan, as we talked about numerous times before, Jordan has 5 separate copies of that mill card, which is why he's playing it. And then we see, I don't know what it's called, Unexpected Mutation or something. Jordan being a bit of a butthead and making a lot of noise because he really likes that turn to frog or pongify effect. So he did take care of Obzedat. He did still take damage off the trigger. He does take damage off the extort. He is in a bit of a, what the kids would call a tricky pickle here. Alec does have 1 card in hand. Jordan still stuck on 4 lands with only 1 black mana source. With the 2/3 Sage's Run guy with the Paranoid Delusion cipher to it, and the 1/4 Corpse Blockade. And there's another Corpse Blockade, which will help him stem the tide. But again, with just extort triggers, Alec can theoretically win this game by itself. Alex has a swamp in hand, and I'm not sure what the other card is. So he does have the flyer. If he does play a black creature, he can give his frog lizard Intimidate if he wanted to, which will also sneak it through. Because I believe the frog is just, well, it might be blue-green. I'm not sure. I think it's just green. There we see the blue creature come into play, triggering the Sage's Run guy, milling 2 cards. It will also help Jordan dig through his deck to try and find more land. So there's the swamp that we knew was in his hand. What is this card? 5 mana for that big balmy enchantment. +2/+2 and protection from creatures. Attacking for 5 is good enough. Unblock. Protection from creatures means you can't block with creatures. And that's good enough for exactly lethal to Jordan. So Jordan could not get his mill plan online, to be fair. Could not get his land plan online. We've seen some pretty epic mana failures tonight. Round 1, Megan Berger fell subject to mana screw. And in this round we see Jordan get stuck. And last round we saw Brandon Hart have to mold a 3 before he found a hand that had any lands in it. So I'm going to stick my head out real quickly to see if I can find another match. Alright, so these guys are just going to run it back for fun. And Alec is cracking his prize pack on camera because everybody knows, we all know everybody loves that. So there's the Orzhov charm. Do you need that? Is it foil? No, it's basically, I'm going to put it in my I want the next one. Is that unexpected results? Yeah. I need one for EDH. That's pretty good. We were we were both very excited because I am looking for a copy of unexpected results for my own EDH deck. So unfortunately, Jordan is getting it first because he needs it too. And like I said, these guys are running it back here, so we're not going to be able to get another match on feature. So might as well just fill in some more action for you. Alec's deck is very solid. He went 5-1 yesterday with Orzhov and is already 2-0 today. So 7-1 with Orzhov across 2 pre-release events. So we'll let these guys try again. See if Jordan can get more than 3 mana at any point in this game. Should be a big help. And there we see the 2-2 flyer. And Alec matches that with a 1-4 Defender with Extort. Again, I apologize for not knowing all the names of these cards, but I hope that if I can at least come up with what they do, that should be good enough. So we see it. Come in. You can come in. Did you win?
Yes, I did.
2-0? Very well. I mean, you're 2-0 today?
Right.
As I'm joined by Jonathan, right? So we're watching Game 4 of the Alec versus Jordan. Yeah, well, Alec already won 2-1, okay. But this is better than just like randomly sitting and watching nothing, right? So they're just playing another one for fun. So Jordan has already assembled the Death Cult Rogue, and he has ciphered onto it the Mill 3 card, and he has another Mill
I got attacked for 20 by 2020 consuming average.
Yeah, yes.
Unblockable.
Yesterday was kind of a hot mess in terms of how my event went, but I did in Game 1 beat a 15-15 consuming aberration. I was very proud of it.
He played one of them Game 3 as a 1-1, and I got to Orzhov Charlotte. I was pretty lucky there.
Well, it's one of those cards that, like, sometimes you have to play it. Sometimes the game state plays out. Of course, we're talking about Consuming Aberration, which is the Dimir promo card. Sometimes you play it out, and you know, the game state does not allow for someone's graveyard to be super full at the time.
Right.
But, like, it gets pretty big if, like, all you have to do is start casting spells. Because you mill until there's a land, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the Dimir cards mill until there's a land, right? That was actually an ability, like, I read some interesting discussions about, like, the design of the set. There was a period of time in development where that was actually an ability called Grind, and it was basically, like, grind to X, and it was, like, if you, like, had Grind 3, it was, like, you know, mill until you hit 3 lands. But then they decided to, like, I don't know why exactly, but they abandoned that, and it's just, like...
Water it down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly, but it's a very strong ability in Limited.
Build it up with enchantment that when you hit them, mill 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did to me the first game. It's really good.
Yeah, Jordan has 5 copies of that mill card.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And then Mind Grind, which is super good. I opened a Mind Grind yesterday and then had to trade it away.
I have one.
You have one? Mm-hmm. I need it for a commander.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm sure I can part with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's any good in the other formats or not. Do you know what the black card that Jordan played is?
Right there?
Above the Death Cult Rogue or whatever?
Is that the one that enters you mill to hit a land? The 3-2?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, he doesn't have any cards in his graveyard, does he? So no, I'm wrong.
Yeah. So he's playing Death Cult Rogue. It's got some kind of... Hey, Brandon. The Death Cult Rogue has that basically like Face Fetters effect on it, whatever that 4-drop enchantment is, like they can't attack or block. And there is the now Paranoid Delusions doesn't read mill. It mills 3, right?
It mills 3 and then you cipher it.
Yeah, and he ciphers it on the guy that can't be blocked except by rogues. If you don't have the unblockable rogues from the Dimir pool, then the cipher cards are garbage. But like if you curve out on the guys and then you play them, like they're so good.
Right.
But like you have to have that critical mass because like most of those cipher cards by themselves are awful. They're only good if you can play them every turn for free.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to, I don't know what that card's called, but it's the X spell that destroys target creature, right? You pay X at
power.
whatever its power is, yeah. So he gets rid of the dual threat mill and unblockable guy. I haven't updated the scores in about a month Sundays, and conveniently they've pushed the scorekeeper off the top of the screen, so I couldn't do it even if I wanted to. Can you open that door and tell them to slide it down slightly?
Alec, move this iPod onto the screen.
Move the iPod down about an inch. There you go. Nailed it. We got high tech up in this. This 1/4 extort guy is very good.
The guards?
Yes. Is he really at 30? Oh, good grief.
Extort.
That thing's got the lifelink on it.
Oh.
I won my last game.
Alec's pool was pretty freaking amazing,
Yeah,
actually.
he got
That's very
Ghost Council.
He got Gauntlet Shrine and Ghost
Stomping
Council.
Ground.
Really?
And Stomping
There's Mind Grind for 5.
Pretty good.
So mill until you hit 5 lands.
No! No!
Yeah, Jordan is very guilty of like just screaming for no reason. He did it in the last game too. You tell these guys the game is just for fun, and they behave in a different. Or at least Alec does. Alec has a lot more fun when he's just playing for fun. But he's like he's pretty into it when you're playing for.
Fine for anything serious. He literally like doesn't talk. He's very to himself.
And we told Alec's a very good player, but I always rag on him because he plays so fast. Just physically draws cards, plays cards, just done. It's like if we ever had any kind of like speed magic, or like have chess where you have the clock.
Yeah.
Alec would be great at that.
Like
Is there a question in the chat?
They just obviously heard him.
Yeah, they heard him. What I think is funny is about it's very different today versus our normal F&M stream. Obviously, I mean the format's super different. I have no idea what's going on because I don't know what most of these cards are. I've gotten to the point now where I know what most of them do, but I don't know what their name is. So I say, well, there's the 1/4 Defender Extort guy. I don't know what it's called.
Silica guards.
All right, Basilica Guards. Nailed it. But I think it's funny because most people who enjoy watching our F&M, they're usually like the dedicated, like the same, like 200 people watch all the time. And they love to interact in the chat. Like they have more fun like talking to me or to each other like about like the people that they're familiar with and stuff like that in the game. But this week, people in the chat just love to talk about the pre-release experience, which I think is fun too. Because it is a very interesting time of year when you get to pre-release. So Alec has switched to Lands Above Permanence mode. He drops the 1/1. I believe that is something Thrall. What is it called?
Yeah.
But it's the 1/1 regenerate.
Yeah.
And that guy that Jordan just played, I don't know.
That's the same one from
I know, but I didn't know him the first time. It's Horror of the... No, it's not Horror of the Dim, because it's a 5-drop. No, so it's not a Dimir card, it's just a black card.
Right.
And then he plays the Sage's Run.
The Battle Distributor?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Trent.
Hi, Trent.
How are you doing? Doing alright. Well, how about you? Two. Nice.
Nailed it. I'm going to find out what that thing is called, even if like I never pay attention to the rest of this match. Thrall Parasite. It's the 1/1 extort guy. I think he's actually pretty good. So, Alec has...
Look at my deck.
Alec has the Syndicate of Ties, which is the Extort Bear. He has the 1/2 Extort Flyer and the 1/1 Regenerating Thrall. He also has his lands above his permanents. Jordan has the 1/1 Extort Thrall Parasite, Sage's Run, whatever that guy is. He's the one that mills if you play a blue creature. And that Sprite. I think that Sprite is garbage, but you play...
Pump for one.
I'm getting that before I forget.
Ooh. Miscut.
Uh-oh.
And I've just been gifted by JV a miscut. Return to Ravnica Plains. It has square edges on one side and rounded on the other. And there's nothing I love more than the people who like try to show something to the camera but don't understand how the camera angle works. Because you just saw Jordy. He also
Show it flat.
No, he didn't. No, he just showed it to camera, but the card was like so far above the camera you couldn't see what it was. It is pointed down. The camera is pointed down. So what was the blue card that he just played? Was that show and tell?
Show and tell.
He follows up with intuition.
He said it.
He's gonna show and tell into
So-
omniscience, into enter the infinite, into playing every card in his deck.
There's no way that can be good. The people have been talking about that on the internet about this enter the infinite combos. I'm like, how about you just play like a deck that's good instead of that weird combo?
You know, let him have fun.
No fun. No fun.
You cast it.
Have you seen that? Has anybody seen that thing? Is it this guy? No.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what it is. So your guess is as good as mine, America.
It's like playing I Spy with it.
Scroll down a little bit. I know. I'll tell you when I see it.
Well, it's gone now.
It's gone now.
That card right there.
The sprite?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about a different card.
Yeah.
He did have a sprite in play, but I was not talking about that one. I guess the sprite is fine in this like infinite paranoid delusions deck because it does have evasion, I guess. So, Alec, not nearly as aggressive a board state as he's had in the past. So here comes Face Fetters. These boys are living the dream out there.
That was a 1,000 lashes.
1,000 lashes, yeah. Which basically it serves as like an arrest, and then it's like an arrest meets stab wound. At the end of their turn, they lose 1 life every turn. And
This is activated abilities. Does that count for extort? Does that also count for
it should count for extort because you have to pay a cost for it.
Right.
Does it count for I feel like you
Hey Garrett.
if you put it on a creature that's like if you put it on the Court Street Zenizen, when it says one white creature enters the battlefield, you may tap another creature. If you have it on, oh my god, really?
How fun is this thing to watch?
Well, we're into game 6. Well, it's getting out of control up there. It was actually pretty good. We watched the game 3 of that one, and Jordan was kind of stuck on land, but his mill deck can race. Deck. Like we saw that in the game against you, where like he just has like that nut draw, where he just has like 3 copies of like on turn 5 in that game against you, like half your deck was already in your graveyard, and like there's so little removal. It's tough. Milled it. He milled all your and also your land. So it's like, well, I'm operating on a two land deficit here because I don't have the ability to draw. See, it's very sad when you don't have any land. At least when you have a full deck, you can be like, well, I can always draw one next turn. But when you see all of your land in your graveyard, it's very depressing. Well, so congratulations to I call Alec Logan almost all the time, and I call Logan Alec most of the time. The way I always call you Scotty.
Right.
But I never call Scotty Jonathan.
Well, that is.
Well, I know Scotty longer.
That's right. Well, no, you met us at the same time.
Yeah, but he would. There was a period of time where he would come before you would come.
Okay.
Scotty's more relevant.
Huh?
Scotty's just more relevant.
He's more relevant.
No.
All right, so we'll switch back here to this nonsense.
You could say he's the Wright brother.
Mm-hmm. So did you?
I want to like every single one of them.
I've never heard.
I saw those jokes on there.
I think I'm
Did you?
Yeah.
hidden. Don't move.
Are you trying to hide? Did you see? I know you're not on Facebook, but did you see the funny pictures that we put on you guys on Facebook? They're not funny pictures.
The ones of us playing?
Already.
the best hand ever to have 4 of those. Like
What?
That's good magic.
The game where he scooped on like turn 3.
Well, I meant actually that game when I had 4 of the mill 3 in my hand, and then I was just like, no creatures.
That's what you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
No, I liked it. I was like, this is funny.
What was the blue creature you played?
The Denizen guy?
Yeah.
He's whenever you play a blue creature, it's the one after that. The Frilled Oculus? That one. It's just a blocker. Is the only reason I play it. It's a 2-drop.
Did you move all the tacos?
I did.
We got rid of them all?
Within, like, a minute.
So you're honest.
Nice. Within a minute, yeah. I guess imagine if you bring a box of tacos to the game store,
Free food.
you don't really have that.
Did you guys watch all 9 games?
Yes. You're just smashing Alec in the face with the door. But no, we did have a fairly fun time late last night and this morning making Wright puns.
Really?
Yeah. They're not particularly clever, but your last name is Wright, and so we did use Wright in all its different forms.
Can I see him?
Yeah, I guess we can. We can bring him up. I guess we could just even like do screen capture of it and show everybody. Because what are we gonna do? We gotta wait. JB did call for time, so we are on.
Because everybody picked in Dimir and Borzhov, so everything goes to time.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look.
Do you want?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely.
Unless.
No.
Those are the 4 best cards I will play.
Okay. I also have a very interesting message from one of our dedicated stream followers earlier today, which I'm like hesitant to divulge the exact details of because if it pans out, it'll just be the greatest surprise ever for the stream. It's one of those kind of things. But so I've got something interesting in the works. But so let's go to albums. Let's just find some pictures of some Wright brothers here. Of course, you can find all this information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Zach Sells Magic. I did get an interesting thing yesterday where someone followed me with the Twitch name Zach Doesn't Sell Magic, which is fun. Okay, so let's do this thing here. Technology it up as we wait for round 3 pairing. So this was pretty normal. This is a good example of how packed the store was, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, what is it, 57 yet?
We had 58 yesterday, plus like a dozen War Machine guys and like 10 role players.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so we go here. That's not it. That's not it.
That was
There we go. So we see Jonathan. I hope he chose the right guild. His brother is always right. Puns the right way. And then Michael Taylor proclaiming that he gets it. Michael Taylor understands it.
Oh, there's the right one.
And we are slightly off-centered here, so I apologize for that. You can't see them all. But on this one, it's I hope he traded for the right cards. He usually makes the right decision. He should really write his trade list down. That way he'll get the right cards. It's a rite of passage, which he got done right away. Right now I'm speechless. So that's the kind of fun you can have here at Lost Legion Games and Comics, as we just be forewarned that if you come here to play and your surname is an actual word in English, that we will post pictures of you on the internet and enjoy that. But you can visit all that stuff. Facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. How about this? Just go to the bottom of the Twitch panel right now. Click on all those buttons. There's one for Facebook. There's one to follow me on Twitter. And there's one for YouTube.
Round 3 hearings.
All right.
Round 3 pairings are going up. Watch out. He's going to open that door and he's going to be so mad.
Very good, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that card, by the way, too.
You're welcome. I was going to end up throwing it away. Because
Oh, don't do
You
it.
haven't won either?
No.
We're playing.
Garrett and Brandon are playing. Wright is playing at table 7 against Alec.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Alec.
All right.
No, Zach.
please
Good luck.
me as soon as possible.
All right, guys. So we are ready here for round 3. I'm going to step outside, find the feature match of choice for you, and then in about 3 minutes or so, not even 3, 2 minutes, we'll be right back here. This would be a perfect opportunity for you to head over to YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter and subscribe to all our various forms of social media. If this is the first time you've watched this for pre-release, make sure you follow on all those so you'll be up to date on all of our various broadcasts, including our weekly Friday Night Magic broadcast. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.